case you didn't hear, this past Thursday, April 26th, New York City bus handle had a Q&A that featured the president of New York City Transit, Andy Byford, and the president of New York City Bus, Daryl Urich. In this video, I am going to talk about my bus recommendations, specifically route changes that I would make here in Queens. I also want to show you a couple interesting tweets that were from the Q&A that I retweeted onto my feed at Andy's Randomness. And this is a video I've been looking forward to making for a while, and I'm glad that there was a Q&A and there were a lot of people who participated. So first up, we're going to do the Twitter feed, and then I'll show you my recommendations for the routes to be changed here in Queens. First retweet, that was interesting. I saw a couple from this handle at Bay Ridge Drivers. At NYCT Bus, the process in place for removing snow from bus stops aren't working. It snows in the New York area a lot. Why aren't we better? Is this referring to the city of New York? And Mr. Urich responded, "We recognize there are challenges, specifically around big winter storms like the ones we saw this winter, and specifically back in March with the four nor'easters that we had. MTA Bus will continue to the commitment to work closely with the New York City Department of Transportation, meeting Polly Trottenberg, and sanitation during and after storms." And then they showed this poll, and I voted for fewer stops, faster trips. And the reason why I voted for this was because one of my recommendations, I'll quickly say it now before we get to the other part of the video, is that I want to see Q46 limited service at the 4 o'clock. And I'm saying that because my office that I work at actually closes at 4 o'clock. It's unfair that there's no limited bus service from Long Island Jewish Medical. And it's idiotic to not have limited bus service during rush hour. There's only limited bus service in the morning. And that's why I voted for this instead of the bus lanes. Now, I get the bus lane thing, but a lot of people are sort of against it too. And I don't have a viewpoint on it, but the first priority should be limited buses on busier routes like the Q46. And you might as well have that on the 88 as well. I don't know why the 88 can't be limited. At John Recruit asked, "Does the bus action plan make the select bus program obsolete? Can we look forward to faster improvements on many more routes?" Andy Byford answered, "We have no plans to change select bus service, and it has delivered tangible improvement when deployed." Well, Q46 should be considered for this as well, but that's a whole other story. Customer feedback has been extremely positive, and average speeds have increased. Yes, you will see faster improvements. Now, this is a quoted tweet I said. At RealMind248 asked, "What are you going to do about the people who are unlawfully fare jumping on the bus and nobody catches them? This is so prevalent on the M101 route at 131st Street and Amsterdam Avenue." So that's obviously the west side of Manhattan. And this guy just makes a pun over here. But here's what Andy Byford said. "Like you, I don't agree with fare evasion, and this is the same problem we deal with the subways. I see people on occasion jump the turnstiles in the subways as well, and I see this in the Q46 as well. Sometimes the driver at Creedmoor at Winchester Boulevard, the driver will let the people get on board without their Metro card or without paying exact change. They're going to be having enforcement teams out in the system, and they will look at the route. I'm hoping my video will address this, but If you're on the 46, I hope you noticed it lately, because I have in the past couple of months. Another problem is, again, people are not paying the fare to go along Union Turnpike. It's a very busy route. Now, this one over here. This is a good question. Any plans to fix wheelchair lifts, ramps, and leanings on the buses for mobility impairments, more than 50% of which don't work now, or to fix the audio systems on the buses for visually impaired? They are about 80% non-functional. Andy Byford answered, "We must improve on the availability of accessibility equipment on our vehicles and on the audibility of announcements. Vehicles are checked before they enter service, but on occasions the equipment still fails. This needs to improve as part of the plan." And my quote tweet was, "Hopefully New York City Bus can have pre-recorded announcements for stops." Now, a question asked by Matt Camper. How will you inform customers while on the buses about any subway, Metro North, or Long Island Railroad service changes? Andy Byford actually responded to Matt Camper, who is a mass transit advocate, as you know. He answered, "New technology and processes are being progressively rolled out to keep customers informed about the entire transit network. As part of the bus action plan, new digital information screens will be fitted to buses to provide service announcements." And as an example, you are seeing this on the Q44 now. Andrew Lee did a video. He's another YouTuber here. He showed how they have that already on the Q44. So when the new flyer gets rolled out, maybe you might see them on the Q46. That might be a possibility probably next year or another year or two, most likely. But it's definitely coming. This is what Andy Byford's talking about here. Dakota Gentry at Atokang, I can't even read this handle, X NYCT bus. Are you guys planning on putting more bus lanes in Manhattan? I feel there should be more, especially on the west side. Hi, Dakota. This was actually answered by the bus president, Daryl Ulrich. An important element of the bus plan includes a citywide network study. But in addition, we are looking for customer feedback. And I'm actually going to email this video as well. I'm not going to email it. I'm going to send a separate email to this email address. Yes, I'm going to be suggesting it to Daryl Ulrich. I'm going to let him know right now that I have a lot of concerns, and the first priority will be fixing the Q88. Lately, again, I don't see enough buses, and it needs to stop. And I will not mention Title VI, so I will not mention it to them, but I will address my concerns. I am going to show you the email that I will send from my fan mail account. So that's a good idea. You guys should be involved in this process too. So that's it. That's a Twitter handle. So now we're going to go to my service changes. Okay, first up, Q46. Problem. Sometimes for evening rush they have select buses stop at Springfield Boulevard. I'm completely against this. It's totally unnecessary. There should not be a route starting from Glen Oaks over here. Q36 should be honestly accommodating people, which I don't know why they can't. And this is where the route should start from, right here. Right here. See? That's where the route should start from. And go non-stop all the way here. Let me highlight it. See? This is where the route should be. Now, another concern I have, other than just keeping the route strict from Long Island Jewish Medical to Kew Gardens Union Turnpike Station, is limited bus service. And I was just talking about this. How in the world does the Q46 have limited bus service? How? And they not get any in the afternoon, is my question. I'm sorry for crackling up there, but this is the point I want to make, is that the last limited bus, I'm going to find it, I apologize. The last limited bus leaves Long Island Jewish at 8:23. This should be extended to at least, I don't know, the 9:33 bus. That should be the last limited bus that leaves Long Island Jewish. And then, go down here, last limited bus leaves Kew Gardens at 9:26. And there's no limited buses. None. Absolutely not. Well, sort of when you think about it. I'm talking about from Long Island Jewish. See, Long Island Jewish doesn't get limited bus service to Kew Gardens Union Turnpike. Trying to find it right here. Yeah, see? None. Only in the morning. But if you go to Kew Gardens, they get limited bus service in the afternoon. How is this acceptable? It's not. This needs to be changed. There needs to be limited bus service from Long Island Jewish starting at 4 o'clock. Okay, I said this earlier. The office that I work at closes at 4 o'clock Monday through Friday. It is unfair to the other employees who need the Q46 that they can't get limited bus service along Union Turnpike. It's unfair to them. And some of them are part-time. You know, where I work, I'll quickly mention this. In my line of work, we have part-time employees. And sometimes they stay until 4 o'clock. And they're in a different department. My department's different, but they can't get limited buses. MTA needs to fix this problem. They really do. Now we're going to go to the Q36 route I've been complaining about for a while. Obviously, this route, you do get limited service. I'll just show you it. This is it right here, limited service. So you do get limited service, which is a good thing. Another problem should be limited service should go until at least the 9:10 bus, which leaves Little Neck Parkway, obviously, from Long Island Railroad. There should be limited service in the afternoon, which is a problem. I'm very annoyed that you can't get limited service in the afternoon as well. This should be the case for the route to be going strict north-south. And it annoys me that you can't get local unlimited service north-south. And that's what I don't get, is that you only get limited service in the morning from Little Neck Parkway. And then in the afternoon, you get limited service from Jamaica. That's what I don't get. The route runs more frequent during on-peak hours. But off-peak hours, this is a problem I have. Okay? That's why you notice your bus shows up more during rush hour. And this is a problem. Jamaica is a high cluttered area. And I'm completely against this entire route being on the 36. It should be from here, right here, stays strictly on Little Neck Parkway. Right? Simple. And here's the easable solution you can do for this. This is the Q1 route, right? Well, here's the problem. The Q1 is only local service. I almost said limited. There should be limited service. So here's what I propose. The Q1 starts its route from Jamaica Avenue and right here. This is where the route should start. Q1 should strictly be Jamaica Avenue Then you make a left on 212th Street, like Q36 does. Then you go right down Hillside, right over there. See? You go right there. And if people need to get to the E train, they can get off at Hillside, transfer at Kew Gardens Union Turnpike for World Trade Center bound E train. Or if you're a little bit adventurous, like I would be, I know Jamaica Avenue very well. Get off at Merrick Boulevard and 89th Avenue. One block south is Jamaica Avenue, and you can go that way. This should be the Q1 route, in my opinion. I call it the Q1 for a reason. This should be the main route in Queens. You don't have that right now. It's idiotic that this route can't go on Jamaica Avenue and the Q36 can get better service. Very, very important that this needs to be addressed. Now I'll show you the Q2 for a sec as a point. Yeah, reason why you can't change the Q2 is, for the obvious reason, you need another route that goes to Belmont Racetrack in the summer. And if people are going to be taking mass transit and they don't want to deal with, the chaos that comes with the railroad, well, guess what? It's a very useful route. So you can't change this route. You can't. And I'll go to the Q110 for a second here. Now, with the Q110's benefit, you got to keep this route too. It's beneficial to have a few buses go along Hempstead Avenue. And it's the same thing with the Q2. That's why I'm saying the Q1 needs a big service change. Now, you can make the case that, how am I supposed to go down Jamaica Avenue? How am I supposed to do that? Well, here's the thing. Q36 shouldn't really be going over there, in my opinion. This is why you need the Q1 to stay on Jamaica Avenue. Because then you can have the Q1 take you to Jamaica. Sort of. If you want to go to Jamaica Center, guess what? Transfer at 212th Place for the Q1. Makes complete sense, right? It's part of the current Q36 route. That would be the new Q1 route. So, let's say you're coming from the Q110 route. Guess what? You have a beneficial way to access Hillside Avenue now. You can do that when the Q1 gets changed in my outlook. And last point I just want to make about the Q77. I will agree with the route. I think it makes complete sense. It goes to Cambria Heights, which unfortunately the dreaded Q27's over there. But that's not the point. My mother works right here, Francis Lewis and Hillside, and this route's very pivotal because it's another option to get over to the bus terminal in Jamaica. Very pivotal, of course. I know a lot of people that my mother works with, they actually take the subway, and the Q77 is actually their livelihood because the stop is right in front of where my mom works, where the building is. So, very pivotal that we keep this route, for the sake of my mom. And she wanted me to bring this up because, I'm only looking out for her coworkers, and they will agree with me too. They need this route. Very pivotal to access the F train, and they don't want to cross the street. And I know my mom would agree with me on this point. It's too dangerous to cross the street at Francis Lewis and Hillside. I know that area very well. I've taken the Q43 once in that area. And, it's not really a safe place to cross. Now, I get the whole point that, it's not like Northern Francis. You've done videos there before. Well, still dangerous, honestly. I see cars going 40 miles an hour sometimes over there, and, you know, it's much more safer if they take this route. And you keep it like this. So, those are my changes to the bus routes in Queens. You agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. And as I said, I will be sending an email to the president of New York City Bus, Daryl Urich, and I will be telling him that Q88 needs more attention. We need more buses. It needs to be more frequent service like the Q27. And maybe my opinion about fresh metals will change. But until then, right now we're not getting enough buses. So that wraps up this video. Thank you for sticking until the end. And, you know, to the people who I have mentioned in this video from the Twitter, you guys just got shout outs. So there you go. Till next time, take care.